Welcome back to the throne. Got a lot going on in here, guys. Welcome back to the throne. Lorenza Nicole Molina, aka the Black Butterfly Queen. Got a lot going on today. How are y'all doing? I'm doing okay myself. Good news. I have some good news I'm about to tell you guys and share with you guys. Um, First, before I get started, I just want to say, God, thank you for today. And God, thank you for today and covering everybody and getting us back to the appointed time and wherever we're supposed to be and wherever you are today. Whether you've seen this live or when you see this, whenever it's time for you to see it, I hope that your day is going well and that the rest of your week goes well and that you have a better tomorrow. In Jesus' name, amen. Um, just so much things, so many things. Hey, so welcome back to the throne. I got all kinds of stuff going on. All kinds of stuff going on today, guys. How are you guys doing today? Um, I'm excited. I have some good news. I have been able to finally release my first song. It's been a while since I've actually officially released anything, and I just it's just been a very long time since I've actually been able to release anything. And at first I thought I wasn't, ever going to be able to, life. And I I have been working though. That's the thing. I have been working on a lot of things and working on music, and anybody does music or is in the entertainment industry, you know how many times you start something before it actually falls through, how many times you get no's, how many times you get stopped along the way, how many times you have to adjust, how many times you have to adjust your plans and keep the goal and all that stuff. And I actually had there were some things that I had worked on that were supposed to come out way earlier, and then legal things, just all kinds of stuff. And this is one song, and this is not all the songs I'm going to release and everything, but I will be releasing my song called TRONUS, and it will be coming out 01 01/25. It'll be coming out January 1st, 2025. And I'm so excited. It's just been such a long time. Sometimes you forget about what you forget that you have seed in the ground. Sometimes you think it's like it's not going to happen. I might as well let this go. Let me move on to the next thing. But the fact of the matter is that you have seed in the ground, and my evidence is this song. And I'm going to play a piece of it for y'all at some point during this podcast. But I just wanted to say that, and the reason why I say this song is evidence that I had seed in the ground is because the things that I had set up for some other projects didn't go through, and I was actually able to use some of those things in order to produce this. And I honestly didn't think I was even going to be able to do this. So I just, y'all, Never would have made it. Never could have made it without you. I would have lost it all. But now I see how he was there for me, and I'm stronger, I'm wiser, I'm better, so much better. Yeah. So that's how I feel. I'm so excited. I don't know if you guys got some new projects going on and everything. If you do, please let me know. If you got new businesses or anything coming out. And that's another thing. I did have my website launch earlier, like towards the end, I think November, mid-November and stuff like that. So God, I just really feel like God has just been blessing me to allow me to, see some things come to fruition, finishing, and starting. Finishing one thing means starting something else. And so I'm just really grateful that I've been able to, after so many times not being able to do so. So, let me see. Let me get this started. Y'all want to hear? So, and then we're going to do some talking and chit chatting and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm just fixing something up with my hands because, y'all know. But it's been so much going on. So y'all want to hear part of it? Never would have made it. Hey, thank you for joining. Thank you for joining while you're out there doing your thing, working and whatnot. Thank you for joining. I appreciate it. So let's see here. Let's get whew. Okay, y'all see some of my studio work in here. Turn this a bit because it's too much for me. There we go. Alrighty then. Okay, so let's see. Let's see. Let's play some of the song. So let me go here. Cut that off. Never would have made it. I never could have made it without you. I would have lost it all. But now I see how you were there for me, and I'm stronger. Okay, let me turn this up. The song is called TRONUS. I'm going to play a little bit and I'll give y'all a little bit more of a background about it. Let's see. Just take your crown and fly. Take your crown and fly. Choose to never die. Take your crown and fly. Take your crown and fly. This ain't checkers, but this is chess moves. Taking everything I honor from my past and pressing forward. Okay, that's it. That's a little simple. But that's my sample. So I'm gonna go ahead and hope y'all like the little clippy clip of that. But yeah, so anyway, I think today I just want to talk about blessings, finishing, and chaos. What I've noticed, before I get into that, remember that the song just come out January 1st. January 1st, 2025. So the full song will be released and all the things that come along with it and everything. Thank you. Oh, snap. And all the things that will be released with it and everything will be out January 1st. So I'm really looking forward to that and everything. But yeah, one of the things that I've learned during this process, and there's more things to come. This is not like the only thing I'm going to do, but this was a long time coming. I have learned that as I grow and as I get closer to walk closer, or as I begin to actually walk in my purpose as I've been called to do, I have noticed so much more chaos. One end, I feel so excited. I feel so blessed. I feel, just, I overwhelmed with what God is doing. And on the other hand, I noticed that I have to be really careful about feeding into distractions and confusion. I feel like confusion and distractions come in a different way when you are actually pursuing something, or you've grown past a certain point in your life. And so the enemy knows he can't do exactly what he did before. So I feel like he rewraps distraction and confusion. He rewraps what is the word I'm looking for? Discord and division. He rewraps those things. He rewraps them, and he comes at you at a different angle. And the way I recognize it in this season and the next season, my first younger part of life, or whatever, teenager, whatever, 20s, whatever, I certain distractions came in different ways emotionally, people doing certain things, whatever, and me being distracted by that. And I feel like there's a maturity level to you not being distracted by certain things anymore. So the enemy doesn't know, he knows he can't use things that would have worked on you like in your early 20s, or late teens, or whatever, in your college years, or whatever have you. It's not going to work now. So he's going to rewrap it. And so I just want to let anybody know that is pursuing anything, the pursuit of purpose, there comes this other side that doesn't really seem to have a language or a clarification on what it actually is. But I think everybody pursuing purpose deals with that. And what I've dealt with is this chaos and this distraction and these attacks and division and discord. And I mean, it's so stealth, but so swift. The enemy is not playing with you. He understands what you have and who you are. And the closer you get to that, if he can't stop you from it, then he'll try to isolate you. He'll try to create division in between you and people that you wouldn't even think you would have division with. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like out of the blue, it seems like, almost. But see, he plots and he plans and he tries to use spaces in your heart and other people's heart. And this is the thing. If God has blessed you with people, he has blessed you with somebody, and you see the enemy trying to attack that, you cover your friendships and cover your relationships and things as you grow, because a lot of times the enemy is trying to get rid of your allies. Some people aren't even real enemies. Like, the enemy is trying to make them appear to you. Be vigilant and be wise and let God lead you on people. But sometimes the enemy just wants you to kick people to the curb. He wants you to not hold people dear. And the enemy will try to use emotions and confusion and discord and division to break up you from your allies. And it's like right as you're going in. Now, sometimes, yes, it's a revelation of something. Sometimes people can't come with you and everything like that. But ask God to lead you before you make decisions with people or about relationships or friendships, because the enemy does he if he can't stop your purpose, he's going to try to cause you pain somewhere else. And be very wise of your own issues. Be very wise of the areas where you're still healing, and the areas where you're still tempted, and the areas where you're still broken, or the areas where be humble enough to be like, you know what, I know I need God for this. Be humble enough for that, because the thing about it is, if you the enemy is waiting for you to have a smidget of pride. He is not playing. When I tell you, he wants you to have just a smidget of pride so that he can use that to cause havoc. It is a different type of attack, but it's the same devil. You know what I'm saying? It's the same evil kingdom. It's the same plot against you. He is after God's glory ultimately in your life. And if he can get you to focus on all the things that other people are doing or saying about you during this time, you won't focus on the goal. God has given us energy and strength only to do what is given for us to do. I've told a few people recently, like, I just don't have nothing to give. And it's not necessarily just because I'm just so drained and tired. I mean, people can drain and tire me. Situations can make me drained and tired. Things that I just don't quite understand, like, why is it happening, can make me drained and tired. But that is part of it, part of the enemy attack. And so what I have had to choose to do is just, I can't be involved in certain conversation, because I realize that I'm very sensitive to certain spaces and energy right now. And I'm okay with however anybody feels about it, because what I must do is focus. What I must do is pursue the purpose. What I must do is pursue the God who gave me the purpose. And if I cannot, if anything, whatever will pull me away from that is, the price is too high. The price is too high. The price is too high. I don't care who it is, what it is. The price is too high. I don't care if I don't care if it was three weeks ago and you knew you could do this with me, and God told me I can't do this with you no more. That's just how it is going to be. I don't care if people feel some type of way about it. I don't care, because this is the thing. God can explain it to them. Because I'm sure there's been times in my life where I didn't understand what people had to do, make certain decisions, and it hurt. But God gonna have to explain it to them. That's on them, unless God give me the words to say. But I don't owe anybody anything but God first. And then and when I mean by that, that doesn't mean that I have the right to be rude, disrespectful, or selfish. What it means is that I'm going to give to you what God tells me to give to you 100%. But I'm not going to give to you what God does not tell me to give to you 100%. I'm not going to, my goal is to practice. I would like to phrase it as, I'm a recovering people pleaser. Meaning, when you say you're a recovering alcoholic, it means that you're not drinking anymore, but you are practicing all the methods that is necessary for you not to go back into those spaces. I am a recovering people pleaser. And what I mean, I'm not doing certain things that I used to do. And that's okay. That's okay. I was talking to someone today, and I was like, I never knew I could care so little about how people think. It's not that, and some people say this and they mean it in a malice way. They mean it like, forget all of y'all, and they just negative and stuff. If you think what you think, okay. I don't have energy to fight it. If you don't know who I am by now, and if you don't know what type of character I am by now, you just ain't never gonna know. Like, that's just where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? And that's okay. It's okay you don't understand me. It's okay you don't get it. It's okay if I'm not for you. It really is okay. It's okay. But don't fool yourself or me, okay? But it's okay. And I think that, like, when you're going towards purpose, you start really being okay with stuff. Like, you know, because you start feeling the alignment in you. And it is not that people don't matter or their heart or their feelings don't matter. It's that you begin to see things from God's perspective a little bit better, and you realize how small it is to the bigger picture. There is somebody gave me an example about um it was a psychiatrist, and they were talking, they work with people, all types of people, but they work with people who are on the spectrum, um who autism and things like that. And one of the things that they said was, one of the tools that they use is that um sometimes people on the spectrum, if it's autism or ADHD or OCD or whatever, sometimes they can hyper focus on something that has bothered them. And the example they gave to help them pull themselves away from that, because it can't, they, it's not that they're intentionally trying to hyper focus, but they have to fight harder to not focus on those things, right? When they get hurt, it's hard to not see it, or when somebody's doing something that is not right and is right in their face, it's hard for them to like ignore that, right? And her example was, picture a window, and then on the window there's a piece of dirt. There's some dirt on the window. It's a smudge, and you see how dirty it is. And say it's on the outside of the window, and you're like on a high rise somewhere like 10 stories up, and you can't get that dirt, right? That sounds very irritating, especially to a lot of those of us who like being clean and cleaning, right? You can't get to the dirt, and you just losing your brain because you wish you want to get to that dirt, right? And it's on the outside, and you're just focused on it. She said, now look around at the rest of the window, and then look out through the window. The first thing is that same piece of dirt is probably not all over the window, and even if there's specks of it, you can still see through the window. Have you ever looked at something in the distance and your focus shifted from what was near versus what was further away? If you look out the window, or you open the window, or you just look around through the window, you can see a lot more going on than just the dirt that's on the window. And you begin to focus on the people outside, and the cars driving by, and the sounds that you hear, and the animals that you see, and things like that. That's what you begin to focus on. That's how I feel about purpose. Walking in purpose, not purpose itself, but the lifestyle purpose. It's not that you lose your humanity or your feelings or your care for people. It's that God, I feel like, begins to pull you away from the things that used to easily disrupt your peace, easily disrupt your focus. And he begins to show you the bigger picture. And the further you're away from those things, and the more you're into what God is doing, you start understanding the significance of what God is having you do versus the significance of the other things. It doesn't matter. It doesn't mean that people don't matter. It just realize you start putting it into perspective from God's sight and vantage point versus your own. And then you begin to adopt the emotions in the heart and the mind of God. And that's called growth. And because you grow, the enemy knows he can't get you with a speck anymore. Okay? The enemy knows that. So he's going to try to be stealth. He's going to try to have something slide in the window, or he's going to have something try to come into the house that would disturb. He's going to try to do other things because now the speck on the wall is not strong enough to distract you. Now the things that used to pull you away is not strong enough to distract you. And whew, my nose. Sorry. It's not strong enough to distract you. So in the pursuit of purpose, make sure you just pursue God and humble yourself and be aware of your humanity. You're not going to get everything right. You're not going to be able to show up in all the places that you once did. You're not supposed to, if you're feeling drained, I said this in another podcast episode, I think a couple of them, you're not supposed to be available for everything, and the things that you make yourself available drain you. I've had several headaches this week just from conversations that I could have skipped. I could just skip them. Some things we can't get away from because it has to do with our livelihood, and it could have to do with family or somebody at our job specifically. And you have to ask God to give you peace and how to deal with those things. But if you're noticing as you're trying to go forward that it's just a weird energy of weird chaos and weird confusion and division in odd spaces, everything is being rearranged. Everything is being made new. There is a shifting happening in all of this. And this is why it's our jobs that we stay centered. You know, when a hurricane hits, there's the eye of the hurricane. And even when a tornado hits, there's the eye, because it is a cyclone. It's circling. It is, right? But there in the center is the eye. And God's saying you got to stay in the eye. Because while I am moving everything around, there's going to be things flying in spaces that you would have never expected to see in the air. You don't expect to see a train flying in the air. You don't expect to see tractors flying in the air. You don't expect to see a house flying in the air. You don't expect to see boats on land or on top of buildings. You don't expect to see that. That's unlike the norm, the things of the past or the normacy that you're used to. And it's because I'm rearranging everything. And when you come and you sit with me in the secret places, is when you are staying in the eye of the storm. I need you to stay in the eye of the storm because the storm has to hit. It's time for some things to move around. I need them to know that I am God. And those who stay in the eye of the storm are covered. I don't need you to move left. I don't need you to move right. I don't need you to try to dig down or go up. All I need you to do is stay in the eye. That's it. Stay in the eye of the storm. The storm is rearranging things. It's moving some things out of the way. And it's not meant for you to try to save something in the storm, get something out of the storm. If you reach into the storm, you will get snatched up too. The best thing for you to do is stay in the eye. In the eye, there's peace. In the eye, there's harmony. In the eye, there's stillness. In the eye, there's a solitary. There's calmness. In the eye, there is no movement. There is a clear sun in the eye of a hurricane. God is coming in like a hurricane, and the things that are happening and the things that are being ripped up are everything that was loose, that was not anchored down. God said, stay anchored and stay in the eye. Do not move out of my presence. I am doing something and it's about to get very insane. You think all the little things that are happening are big. You think the distractions are big. You think the division that you've been hearing of and seeing of and witnessing and experiencing are big. Just wait, because I am coming. Some things ain't the devil, baby. Some things God got to do. He got to rearrange some systems and rearrange some things, because he has called us, and his word does not go out and return back to him void. And for his word to come back to him, it will come back to him fruitful. Okay? He is rearranging some things to where all we can do is use the gifts that we have so that he can make room for us internally and in this world. Okay? And so you cannot allow the weird changes in the atmosphere to bother you so much. If anything, it's time to stay. It's time to get in position. That's it. You're prepared. You have all the things that you needed to have. He's already created the bunker. He's already has your bag with all the things that you need in it. Your safety bag, all those things. God has prepared you. Now, this is no more time to be trying to, okay, maybe if I should do this, no, this is the time to get in position and stay there. It is time to get in position and stay in position. And I'm not saying staying in position for a little while. This is not one of those little, this is not practice. We're in it for real now. We are in it for real. We are in it for real. Judah has fallen. Or Judea. I'll be saying Judah and Judea has fallen. We're in it. We're in it. You're prepared. You're ready. But this is what you have to do. You have to stay in position. And how do you stay in position? Because we always telling everybody what to do, but we don't always tell people how to do it. You spend time with God. You pray. You spend time working on the things he gave you. I don't care how hard it is. I don't care how confusing it is, because that keeps you in the nucleus. That keeps you in the eye of the hurricane. That keeps you in the space where it's calm. And you can hear sirens going off. You can see things in the distance flying around, but you staying anchored in the center. So that means whatever you do, as the storm moves, you move with the storm. Because the only way you moving with the storm is you staying in position. If you stay in position, when the storm goes left, you go left. If you stay in position, anchored into this nucleus of, if you're staying where you're supposed to be staying, as the storm moves, you move, because you're doing everything you're supposed to do. And that is what keeps you out of the line of fire. That's what keeps you out of the line of fire. Even though your winds blow. I don't know if y'all know that song. I want you to know you cause me no alarm, 'cause I'm safe in his arms. Even though your rain falls, I can still make it, 'cause let there be peace. Now I can say go away. That's all I thought about, is that storm. But this storm, this ain't even that storm. This storm, this is God's hand, like the wonders in Egypt. Okay? Some things are the enemy for sure. Some things the enemy he's gonna take opportunity and advantage. Anything that's not anchored down in God, he's coming after. He's coming after. Anything that's not anchored down in God, he is most definitely coming after. I told the storm, oh yes I did, to pass. Storm, you can't last. Go away. Those type of storms prepare you for now. Those type of storms prepared you for now. You're ready. I'm getting ready to see something I've never seen. I'm getting ready to see something I've never seen. I'm getting ready. Tasha Cobbs, I'm getting ready. See, all I keep thinking about is music and songs and stuff. But I'm trying to tell y'all, look, I don't know everything, but I don't have all the answers, and I'm a girl with a podcast. I'm just on here doing what I believe the Lord told me to do. I'm just another person showing up. You don't have to have all the status or whatever it is you think you're supposed to have. All you need is your assignment and to follow through. That's it. Let's stop waiting for big things to happen before we do what we're supposed to do. Those big things are made up of small moments. They're not it's not the other way around. You don't have small moments made up of big things. No. And for every dollar, there's 100 pennies. It takes 100 pennies to make $1. Imagine how many pennies it will take to make 1,000 or $1 million. You can't wait for things to be a certain way to get in position. Okay. Dream time, story time, story dream time. I this is an example for position. I had a dream about position. Um it had more than one thing in it, but this is the part that I feel like I need to share. Um and you could take it or not. So I had a dream that um in the dream there was a cliff, and like up here and some vegetation, like corn or something, some vegetation and stuff like that, the ocean, and then down off the cliff was sand, and then the beach, kind of like you can see those, like in Malibu you see like a mountain and then the sand, but say it's not a full mountain, it's like a high cliff or hill or something like that, like it's just chopped, look like the platelets did this, and then sand is down here and this is up here, and then you got trees and stuff over here, and you got sand and stuff down here, but the ocean is right there, like that, right? And there were people at the top cliff, and then there were people on the sand and the ocean behind them. So say me facing you, the ocean's behind me, and say I'm on the cliff and I can look down and see the people on the sand over the cliff. And there are two groups of people. This group of people came through the vegetation, and it seemed like a disaster situation and things like that. And people were walking on foot. I don't know if we was out of gas. I don't know, whatever was going on. And there was another group of people that were also dealing with that, but they were on the sand. They weren't with our group, but we were all out here in the elements, okay? And it looked like it just recently happened. And I couldn't tell you what the disaster was or what had happened for the reason why we were all walking on foot. And it's about 300 of us down here, maybe 145 people down there or something. I don't know, child, like that though, okay? So that's just give you an idea. And our positions were different, but the water was behind us, and it was a beautiful, and even though we were all on foot walking around trying to figure out what to do, the day was a beautiful day. It looked like maybe a storm had already came through, because you know how clean stuff look after a storm, and the water was crystal. I mean, that water was beautiful. Like it looked like crushed glass in the water, right? It looked really, really beautiful. And ahead of me in my group, down far in the distance, I could see somebody say, "You got to do this weird arm body motion thing to see what they were seeing." So me and the people, my family that was with me, we did it. And we could see that there was a tsunami like wave coming toward us. Now, mind you, the clear, peaceful water is behind us, but there's like some dingy, cold, Arctic like looking water in front of us. It is the most strange. And when I say Arctic, I don't mean like I saw ice in it. It just looked really cold and dingy, like the Atlantic water. So maybe, Pacific and Atlantic, one was crashing into the other. I don't know, child, But anyway, the water was coming, and we had to take cover. And those who did the motion, no matter if they were standing on the cliff or on the sand, whoever saw the water because they did the motion, also when they did the motion to see the water, they did the little hand motion so they can see. That was the way to see what was happening. They were the ones that were covered and protected from was like a shield, for instance. And they could cover their family and themselves. They became a shield for their family and themselves. The people who didn't and dismissed it were taken out by the water. But the water just rolled over like oil on a duck's back, or water off a duck's back. It just, then the pressure didn't knock us, nobody over. And there was less people that were with us when that water finished running over us like that. then started with us. Now, mind you, we was already distressed. So I'm just like, why are y'all not listening? And it didn't matter the position. And I think about that scripture in the Bible where it says that the one who builds his house on the rock, they will not, versus the one who builds their house on the sand, they won't perish, right? Because the sand is easily removed because it's not sturdy, it's slippery, it slides through your hands. You can't even, sand will stick to everything, but you can't grip it for long. Like, it's an interesting element, grain, not grain, but dust, dirt, rock, mineral. There we go, mineral. And so those people, I saw people just being blasted away by the water. Me and mine were fine, and whoever else did the little weird hand gesture thing, I could literally stand up and do it. I'm not going to do that, but the weird hand gesture thing, they were fine. And it didn't matter if you were on the platform, the cliff rock thing, or the sand at the bottom. And the water just, I guess, went into the water behind us. And then it receded, and it was like nothing. And that's what this time is, in my opinion, like where we're going. It's like, it feels like wherever you are, I don't care if you think you're not far enough from where you used to be. I don't care if you think you're doing so well. I don't care what you think. Wherever you are, hold your position. That's it. Wherever you are, if you are on the sand, obedience is better than sacrifice. You may not be where you want to be. You may see somebody higher in one position, you feel low in another position. But wherever you are in this moment, get in position. Do what you got to do where you are. It's time out for being worried about things that don't matter anymore. Oh, did I waste time? It doesn't even matter. Right now, all it's about is, are you going to listen right now? I've shared this with some family members, and I'm going to share it with you. And I've said this before, I think, on here, is that God don't remember our sins, but he does remember our obedience. When the angel of death came as one of the wonders that hit Egypt, they said to put the blood's lamb over the door. And it didn't matter if you identified as an Egyptian or a Hebrew. If you did not have that blood, that innocent of that, the blood stain on your door, of the blood of the innocent lamb, the blood stain of the innocent lamb on your door. My God, the tongue tiedness. If you didn't have that, you were not covered. It did not, what identify, I'm this, I'm that. No, obedience covers you. Doesn't matter what you say, who you are. If you're a CEO, you got it all together, or you're the man on the street living under a box. Hold your position and do it with how you pray. Do the thing. Do the gesture. Everybody, no matter what their position was, if they were close to the water, if they were further away from the water, if they were on the cliff, if they were on the sand, if they were walking with one group or they were coming with another group, only the people who did the position, who got in position, are the only ones that were able to survive the tsunami like wave. There was not even a cloud in the sky. It came from an unexpected place. And this is what I mean. You cannot anticipate what is about to happen. There is no analyst. There is no science. There's no math. There is nothing else but God telling you to get in position. I've given you all the things that you need. Now I need you to get in position. The whole point of the hand gestures was what made people in position. That means it's an action. So whatever thing God has been telling you to do, I keep saying this. I keep repeating this one line. For the last few months, I feel like I've been repeating, whatever God's been telling you to do, you need to do it. Whatever God's been telling you to do, you need to do it. Eventually, God ain't gonna have me say that no more. And this may be one of the last times he has me say this. He done had several different ways where he's had me explain this. You have to be in position. And it's not just you, it's me too. I got to do the things if I want to be covered. That means you got to do the thing that looks weird to everybody else. That looks, because that's what the little gesture, you did the little, and then all of a sudden your eyes are open and you can see. That was to give you a head start. And when you did it, it was the same thing. Not only did it give you eyes to see what was about to happen, but it was a thing that also gave you the ability to not be affected when the storm hit. Yes, you had to do something to cover yourself. But you were not knocked out and blasted into the water. I can only imagine how horrible it was for Moses and them on hearing people scream and scratching trying to get into the boat. Why does this keep doing this? Why does it keep doing that? And so if the enemy's trying to tell you, oh, you ain't been doing good enough, you in a crazy situation, look at you now, you ain't gonna be safe in these new times, you gonna fail and fall. No, the position that you need to be is on your knees praying. The position you need to be is seeking God in everything that you do. That is your position, is looking at him. That's it. That's the answer. That's it. I don't care if you're rich or poor. I don't care if you're black, white, Mexican, or Chinese. I don't care who you think you are, what you think you identify with, or what you identify with, or what's your title, or what your status is. Okay, you know what I'm saying? It has nothing to do with how you think of yourself. This has everything to do with God said what he said. And if you do what he tell you to do, in this season, you can be on the sand, and you can be on the horizon, on the rock and on the stone. But if you are not doing what God gave you to do, you will be knocked out of position. Because the sand and the rock do not define your security. You being willing to do what looks weird right now, to cover you and yours, to put the blood on the door. We're running out of time. Midnight is coming. The hours are counting down. And you can't be outside looking for a lamb to cover your door when the angel is on its way. Cover you in your house. Do what he's asked you to do. I do not care how bad it is. Get on your knees and get it together. I know somewhere in Revelations, I believe it talks about how you come in a thief as a night. He'll come in as like a thief in the night. And we think, oh, but we're living in revelational like times. And you don't think Revelation, okay, read Isaiah. Isaiah and Revelations mirror each other. We're living in times that whether you believe is the revelational time or not, these are hard times. And it's really cliche the way people use those terms, revelation, apocalypse, all kinds of things like. Anyway, whatever time you're in, there's always some type of shift to bring another part of God's purpose into position, or to clear out some things because people have been doing too much. How many times has God had to rearrange something and redo something? We got the Adam and Eve had to be kicked out. Then we had Tower of Babel. We had Noah and them, and then we had, you know what I'm saying? The children of Egypt, the children of Israel, which is also Egyptians, because they lived and were born in Egypt for 400 years. No one talks about that. Okay. When they went and followed Moses into the the desert and stuff like that, that trip was longer than it had to be. And honestly, the lifespan of the people, 40 years. In 40 years, he took everybody, when he took everybody up. Do you know some of the people were swallowed up by the earth? Like, God will reset things so that things can happen in the time that they need to happen. And when we start doing too much too fast, and sometimes when we start doing too much of the wrong things too fast, really, God will reset things to a certain degree. Okay. But there's a reset coming that ain't. Okay, I'm just trying to say, like, I mean, look at how God be moving. And it's not that he hates us. He does hate sin. Because sin is the thing that stole us from him. He's a father first. I would hate the person who kidnapped my child. Yes. Who convinced and lured my child away. Yes. And they keep playing in their face. Yes. They have Stockholm syndrome. Yes. With sin. Sin is the culprit. And now you done touch so much of sin, you're sick because of it. So yeah, I have a problem with sin. So yes, yeah, God hates sin because it's the thing that keeps you from him. Why should he be okay with it? Like, oh, it's okay. It's just a little sin. No. It keeps you from him, and all God wanted. For the reason why he made you in the first place was relationship and time with you. And that's what he's telling you now. If you don't know what your gift is, or gifts, or abilities, or skills, because we label things and abilities with different names, like talent, skill set, gift, whatever, but it's your ability. Whatever form you want to label it, it's yours. Okay? And that everybody's abilities are obviously have a name. We have more abilities than we have names for them because we don't know everything. There's no way to know all the abilities in the world. Your biggest purpose in this whole world is always to be in relationship with God. It yields the most fruit. The more you know about him, the more you know about yourself. He created you in his image. He created you in the flesh that he was coming to die in. It said that I'm trying to tell you, there's so many things. Like, I just pray the Holy Spirit give understanding to the people who hear what I'm saying. Because it's the Holy Spirit that gives me understanding. And this is the thing, I don't know everything, but he gives me understanding about the things that I'm learning or I learned. Because we the same, because we are people who none of us know nothing other than God giving us understanding. Because you can have all the information in the world, doesn't mean you have understanding on how to use that and when to use it is wisdom. I feel like I'm just going on and on and on, but you don't have to know your talent. You just need to know the God that made you. Because your main purpose and your greatest purpose, the whole purpose of those gifts and talents were always made to give him glory. It's like when you paint a picture and you're like, I'm so proud of you, want to show it off. You're a masterpiece. And the strokes of God's brush to make you, he's excited about. But it takes light for people to see the art. You cannot be seen in the dark. So you got to put yourself in position to be seen in the light. And that's not light by other people. That's God. That means sitting underneath him. God is perfect light. God has no shadow. And if you're sitting in his perfect light, he may even swallow your shadow right on them. You may not have one in his presence, child. Who knows? But when he looks at you, he sees the bloodstained covering because you accepted Jesus as your Lord and Savior. You confessed with your mouth that you believe he is yours. And if you haven't, you can do that now. You can just repeat after me. Lord God, thank you for your son. I confess with my mouth that he is the son of you. Jesus is the son of God. And I ask him to come live in my heart, and I believe him to be who you call him to be. There you go. You did it. And you believe it. All he ever wants is you. You don't have to know all the answers. You just need to reach out to the one that knows you already and wants you to get to know him. Spend time with God, if nothing else, because your greatest gift is being here, living, and knowing him while you do it. Because this is how people experience him. This is how he gets to connect with more people. And it's not just for his glory, but it brings people back home to him. Your life, sometimes your presence is the gift. It's not always what you do with other people. It's what you do with God and what he does through you. And we're never going to know all the things he does through us. We're not always going to see it. Sometimes we're that stranger that somebody's talking about. Man, this one stranger kind of did this and it just really made my day. I don't know who that person was, but they were my angel that day. You don't even know you somebody's angel that day. It doesn't matter how badly you've messed up. All he cares about, are you going to listen? That's what he's going to focus on. Because see, God sees the dirt on the window. And no, he doesn't like the dirt. And yes, it's on the other side of the glass. All he wondering is about the kids outside playing. He's not worried about the dirt on the window. He can still see through it. You can't let the enemy make you fixate on the dirt on the window with everybody else, your life, or yourself. You have to understand that God sees the dirt on the window, but he loves looking through it anyway. And when he covers you with his blood, the dirt has no chance. Stop waiting for, I got to get this together and get my life together here before I come to God. No, you need God to get it together. He is not human. You can't, thinking of him as if he's a human, isn't it? No, he is a king. He is God. And he does want you to bring something to him, thankfulness and gratitude. But he also wants you to bring your pain and your sorrow. God loves being the answer. He loves being there for us. He loves having the opportunity to get to know us. Because sadly, the truth is, people really only want to open up when they're broken to somebody sometimes. Sometimes they don't. But that's when God has an opportunity. But don't wait until you break. Don't wait like you know how much time you have in this world. Because on the other end, I may be talking to some people about next year, but some of y'all, I'm talking to y'all about your life. Because you do not know how much time you have. This may be it for you. And that's all that really matters. Are you doing what's right for you? And when the time comes, I don't want you to look back and say, I wish I would have did what I was supposed to do. Because now the storm is hitting. I'm not in the eye. I'm in the cloud being thrown around and moved around with all the other debris and all the other things that weren't anchored down and all the other things that weren't in position. It's getting destroyed and it's getting rearranged and it's in middle of chaos. It's getting hit. Some things won't survive the storm. You don't know what you're made of like God does. But he does know if you stay in position. If you stay in position, you'll be okay. I don't know. I hope you get it. Excuse me. I don't know who you are. I say I'm just me. Saying what I believe God told me to say, and I still don't always understand what all this is for. But I hope it's for somebody today or whenever you see this. And I hope it really helps you. And I hope you understand that it's your life that God cares about. It's your life that's the gift. It's you that's the gift. You don't always have to have a gift. You are a gift. But believe me, you do have a gift. The best way to find that out is spending time with God. But you hear it all the time. Car can't fix itself, but the one who made it can. See, sometimes, when we own cars, we take it to get it fixed, and we don't take it to the dealership because it's so expensive. And we take it and we do the shortcuts and all this stuff to maintain a car, but the wear and tear on a car go further, and then you lose out on your warranties and things of that nature. But when you take it to the dealership, because the way the car is built, they may have a program in the car, they can even, some cars today, they can tell you what's going on with the car. You don't even got to take it in, and they make an appointment for you right there. And it's getting harder and harder for people, mechanics, to deal with these different types of cars because they're so customized from the dealer. You have been customized by God. And the reason why it's hurt when other people have handled you, because they were mediocre compared to what God could do for you. They mishandled you because they didn't have the right tools. They mishandled you because they didn't know fully what you were made of. They knew what you could do for them, but they didn't know how to take care of you. You've been customized. There's nothing wrong with you. But yeah, you've dealt with some damage. And it's going to take you going into the mechanic. And yes, you may feel like the price is high. I got to change so much of my life. I got to do so much to be this. But oftentimes, what we think is so big and dramatic is not as big as we think it really is. It's not as big as it actually is. Just take it one day at a time. But go into the mechanic that built you, the dealer that made you. Stop letting everybody else tinker around in parts that they don't understand. Because all they're doing is breaking things. Nobody else can be God. Nobody else can do what he does. Nobody else can reach the parts of your life, your heart, your mind, your spirit, and help you reach your purpose like God can. Nobody. So are you tired of being broken by accident and then getting mad at them when you know they're not qualified? They did their best and they broke you. But you went over there and you knew they weren't qualified. You knew that relationship was not the relationship for you. You knew they weren't ready, and you pushed them to be in a relationship with you. I don't know who I'm talking about, but you pushed them to be in a relationship with you. And you knew they were not ready. And now you want to be mad because now you feel broken. But you put them in the position to try to fix you when it was never their job to. Sometimes we have children because we think that's going to make everything better, inviting somebody else into the chaos. It is not someone else's job to fix your problem. It is not somebody else's job to carry your issue. And when you make other people responsible What you do is destroy two lives. You destroy two hopes and two futures when you keep putting yourself in a position to make other people responsible. You destroy yours because you're not going to the adequate service. You're not going into get served and get treated and taken care of by the right one because of what it may cost you, what you got to let go of. And then you end up discouraging the one that tried to fix you when you knew they weren't made for it. And you waste and take time from them. And you get mad at them because they broke something. But maybe they weren't mature enough to handle what you had. But you thought that you could get them to do it because of the fact that they weren't mature enough. And you convinced them to do something they never even wanted to do in the first place. They didn't even want to be married in the first place. They didn't even want to have all the children in the first place. They didn't want to have the kids in the first place. And now you got all the kids and they ain't doing nothing. And you're surprised by their actions. Why are you surprised? Now it's going to take God going in and flushing out a lot of crap that you allowed somebody else to come in and do to you because you did not want to pay. You did not want to go and take care of things the way he asked you to. And then because you thought it cost so much. No, it cost more, didn't it? For you not to follow through. It cost more for you not to listen. It costs more for you to put your life in somebody else's hands that were immature and inadequate, and you knew better, but you ignored it, and you want to be mad about it now. Tell me, what is anger doing to help fix the problem? You want to be mad about it? When it was you who did refuse to do what was necessary in the first place. Be accountable. And go to the master so he can fix you correctly. He's the only one that has replacement parts. Stop being mad at people for hurting you. You were never supposed to be there in the first place, and you know it. It doesn't mean they don't need to be accountable, but maybe you're not the one to hold them accountable when you need to hold yourself first. I know that's hard to hear, but maybe you don't need to keep putting a finger. You see how I'm pointing this like this? And you see how 3 more are pointing back at me? If you're not willing to be accountable for your actions, don't keep talking to people about what they did and didn't do. For what? You're one of the common denominators in the problem. You're one of the common denominators in your own problem. Everybody is not always the villain. Sometimes you're your own villain in your own story. And that is really bad because you're the main character in your own story. So you're the villain in your own story. Really let God be the main character and you be an ally to God. How about that? But you being mad at people for hurting you when you knew you were not supposed to be in a relationship or connected with them in the first place. You being mad at that friend or that boyfriend or that girlfriend. You being mad at the fact that you got these kids or whatever when you knew. Some people bring kids in the world just to try to make their life better because they want the kid to fix things. No. Stop blaming everybody else for the results of your decisions. And just be accountable. I didn't do this right. And now how do I go forward with the decisions I've made and make the best of those things and let God help those things work for our good now. Don't stay hung up on your mistakes either, but be accountable. Go to God. Give those things to him. And then walk with him, walk those things out with him, but don't keep looking at everybody else and what they did wrong. It's a way. We're not there. It doesn't matter anymore. All that matters is this God. Does he want me to do it? Now, is this good or bad? It doesn't matter. No matter if you think this is good or bad. We are clearly, as humans, not a great character of always what's good and bad, especially today's time. Okay, is it God? And that's all where I can speak from. I know just by every episode I'm talking about God. I didn't know it was gonna be like this. Okay, but that's all I can speak from, because that's who I talk to. Oh, thank you, girl. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? It's falling. It was like more curly at first, child. I don't know. I'm doing too much. Anyway. um, but thank you. Oh, Pretty in Pink. Yes, thank you too for that. But yes, and thank you for showing up, sis. It's nice to see you. I hope you're having a great Wednesday night, or at least a better Wednesday night than you could be having. Cause child, this the middle of the week. But yeah, yeah, I'm be real. I'm still figuring out things, and I just feel like that's just my position in life. I just feel like when you're under God and you're trying to understand. I'm gonna keep going to the mechanic that created me, because I feel like there's always something new about how he made me that I do not know. So I got to keep going to the mechanic. Okay. I don't know. We're riding out this thing together. Okay. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for, whoever you are when you see this. Cause I don't know when anybody gonna see this, child. I feel like I'm stacking bricks and we just trying to figure out how this house gonna look. Cause I have no blueprint. God got the blueprint. He's telling me where to lay the bricks and the slab and stuff like that. And that's all I'm doing. Will Smith said it best. Just one brick at a time. And I'm taking his advice. One brick at a time. Okay. We're building this house, and my father knows the blueprint. I don't. I just know the father, and I have to trust him on that. So I'm going to do my best. Once again, thank you for showing up to this podcast. I'm going to pray, and then I'm gonna let us go. I think I'm going to play the song one more time before we head out of here and everything. So yeah. God, I just thank you for the people that I don't see, but they will see this. And you know who they are. You know how important these words are to them and what they need. And I just pray for their life, God. I pray that people just choose you and they understand how simple you really are. They don't miss out on what could be because of what has been. And that they feel supported and loved and safe here. And that they'll be safe, they'll be loved, but they will also get the truth. And just let your will be done in all things, in this podcast, in the people, in me, in the equipment, and all the things that have come together for me to be here today. Thank you. I pray you cover everybody from the top of their heads to the soles of their feet. And bless them to understand. Give them wisdom. Help them to have wisdom. Help them to hear you. Bless them to be able to hear you and connect with you. And they know it's you. Not looking for a connection with you like everybody else, but your own unique connection with them. Whatever that may look like. I thank you for their life, and I thank you for letting me borrow their time today, because they belong to you first. And no one owes me anything. But thank you for everyone who's given me anything. In Jesus' name, And once again, if you came in a little late, if you want to know the Lord for yourself, you can repeat after me. God, my Father, I know that you are real. And I believe that Jesus is the only begotten, direct Son of you. And I want him to come live in my heart today. And I ask him to come live in my heart. And I believe in Jesus' name, amen. If you said that last part of the prayer, you are now a believer and part of the family. And let God lead you. I always tell you, find a online. You can find out through. If you don't know what church to go to, you can search some online churches. Pastor Flyer, Prophet Lovey, Potter's House. They have a lot of people come through there. Dr. Tubman or Pastor Tubman in Florida. Stephen Furtick, really, really good ministers. So you can look those people up. You also just, look at the people in the neighborhood if you don't want to do anything too big. And make sure you get a Bible. And if you don't have a Bible, you can start with the prayer app. I'm always talking about prayer.com app. You can start with that. Do that. Um, that's what I do. I had a Bible, kind of got damaged. So I've been really using the apps lately. And I love the apps because they have different ministers on there. Our Heart Radio has a lot of podcasts where they have different ministers and they are in the collaborated inside the prayer app. So there's so many different ministers that you can find through that you may like, and of different backgrounds and everything. Was it Pastor Tony Price or Price? Pastor Price. He's really he's really good. Is it John um Stephen Price? I'm trying to remember, but Price, Pastor Price. Um and I think he's Asian American or Asian, but I love listening to him. He's really good. But there's different people, different backgrounds and cultures and creed and nationalities, and I love hearing how everybody sounds the same eventually. Oh, Joyce Myers is good too, and everything, but everybody sounds so much the same, because at the end of the day, they have their own sound, but you hear God in everybody, and so that's really cool. So but yeah, and if hey, come back next Wednesday and get in the group, the chat, and talk to me, and I'll talk back, and yeah, we'll see where it goes and everything. But yeah, thank you for coming. Let's listen to the song one more time before let's play out a little bit. Not the whole song, just a sample again real quick. And I'm gonna play it out real fast. Let me cut that. And no weapon formed against me shall prosper. No, it won't work. 'Cause God will do. That's not the song, but okay, let me turn this up. So once again, this is my new song. It's going to be out January 1st. It's called TRONUS. TRONUS, this means throne. View from the throne. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, so TRONUS, this means throne. It will be out January 1st, 2025. And I'm excited about it. It's been a long time coming. And this is the sample. Okay. Yeah. Just take your crown and fly. This ain't chickens, but this is just loose. Take your crown and fly. This ain't chickens, but this is just loose. Choose and never die. This ain't chickens, but this is just loose. Take your crown and fly. This ain't chickens, but this is just loose. Take your crown and fly. This ain't chickens, but this is just loose. This ain't checkers, but this is just moves. Taking everything I honor from my past and pressing forward. All right, that's it. Okay, that's it. So thanks for listening. Thanks for stopping by. And yeah, I'll see you guys next week at the throne. Bye.